YouTube, it's Maddie, the Emptiness Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. If it's your first time, I hope you enjoy the content. And if you do, please remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hopefully leave me a comment if you have any suggestions for me or comments about the video. And as always, if you're returning, I am super glad you came back. So here we are, and I'm going to call this video Stamp Positioning Tools Revisited, because I did have a previous stamp positioning tool face-off comparison years ago when I first started trying stamp positioning tools, and I needed something because I am a super terrible stamper. So yeah, I've got these, blocks in my room. I have a shaky hand. I couldn't do it. I wanted to give up stamping until the stamp positioning tools came out. So when I first did this video, I had the assortment of, I believe, Stamp Perfect, the Stamping Pro, Nelly's Choice Stamping Buddy Pro, and I had the Tim Holtz travel size stamp positioning tools. So nobody needs that kind of assortment, but that's what I had. I did the comparison, was not crazy about the Tim Holtz. And at the time, and I believe it was 2016, when this was available to everyone very easily in the US. I believe you can still get it outside of the US anywhere. But at the time, I did not have the Misti, which is included this time. But I did not care for the Tim Holtz stamp positioning tool. So if you're interested in that, I will try to remember to link that either in a card at the end or down in the video description. But I thought I would revisit because I did receive the Misti, which is the industry standard in the US, at least in part because there aren't any other hinged tools allowed to be sold. I'm not going to get into why that is. It just is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each of the positioning tools, and then I will demonstrate it for you. And I picked out, I'll show you the stamps I picked out. I purposely picked out inexpensive stamps, and my hope is that I can show how an inexpensive stamp, and this will not show up, here's black. An expensive rubber stamp is going to show up fine on anything, but an inexpensive stamp is going to be harder to get a proper image. And so I chose these two. This one is from Dollar Tree even. These two stamps, one is solid, one is just intricate, that are inexpensive, not your high quality photopolymer or red rubber, because I wanted to see if a stamping tool could help us make those stamps work. Now, if you only have the high quality stamps, good for you. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. But I pick up both. I pick up the stamps from the stamp companies, and I pick them up from eBay. And I picked them up from Dollar Tree. So they're all different levels, and I would like to make them work. Otherwise, I, better stop buying those inexpensive. I do not purchase from Temu or AliExpress, just because I'm worried about those sites. And of course, I want to also support our designers who work so hard on their designs as well. But I don't pass judgment on anyone who does. We all do what we can, and some of these, or at least one of these, is only available on Temu right now. And if that's your choice, then go for it. So I'm going to start with letting you know I'm going to use VersaFine Clair. It is the best black ink I have in my stash. If you have a ink that is your favorite, then let me know. But that one is mine for stamping clear images. So I'm going to go through these one at a time. Just a little bit about the facts, and then I will demo them for you. So this is the order in which I purchased them. This is the Stamp Perfect, and it was something I purchased, I believe, in 2016 when it came out and was readily available at Michael's. Stamp Perfect was made by Hero Arts, and the exterior of this stamping platform is 7" by 9". The interior, the stamping area, that's the black part here. And that area is 5.5" by 7.5". So for me, mostly stamping for card making. So 5 by 7 is as large as I'm usually going to go. So that suits me fine, even though this is a small platform. So this one is a hinged platform. It does have a grid for measuring and an acrylic door. The door is also acrylic, so not necessarily as sturdy as some of the other doors. You can see it's magnetic. I have all these magnets inside, and be careful not to touch them to one another. That will be a problem. But I'm taking them off so you can see I use a piece of sticky grid, usually to hold my stamp down, and it has this foam that you use if you are going to use a clear stamp. You remove it if you're going to use a red rubber stamp. So this is so worn. I will show you what it is in case you haven't seen it and would like to try using it. This is a Sizzix pack of sticky grid sheets, and it's really just sheets that have grid marks on them, and is sticky on both sides. It doesn't last forever, but it lasts a good long time. As you can see, the sticky grid that is on is pretty well worn. So, and I don't use a full sheet. I use what I think I need. And right now I'm going to apply a fresh sticky grid to this and prepare it to hold my stamp in place when I do the demo. So I just place it down in a corner with the release paper taken off. It's right here. And then there's release paper on top, which hopefully I'll be able to remove so that the sticky is exposed on both sides, and I'll be able to stick down my paper onto the sticky grid and it will hold in place. So there it is, ready to use, and we'll come back to that after review all the others and begin the demo afterwards. Okay, this one was the next one I tried, and I tried that because the Stamp Perfect was closed on all sides. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. It was closed on all sides, and that meant that if you had a larger sheet of paper, it really was not ideal to use for stamping. Did want to mention also, before I say goodbye to the Stamp Perfect, if you wanted to buy it right now, it's available on Shein if you use that site for $16.75 and AliExpress for $20 for this size. The larger size is $29 and change as we speak today, January 2025. Okay. This guy was the next guy I tried, and it does have open sides. In fact, it comes with all open sides. It has the same hinge, but this hinge has metal. So it's pretty sturdy. It has the acrylic door, just the same with grid marks for measuring. This one is a little bit different because it has springs. So those springs make it possible for you to line everything up and not have it touch until you press down. So here you see it says Stamping Pro, and at the top it says Artemio. I don't know if you can see that, but this one I purchased back when I got my Stamp Perfect, and I believe it was on Amazon. $31.30 is the current price. This one exterior is 9.5 by 7, and the interior stamping is 8.5 by 6.5, and that is only because all of these sides were open, and I wanted to have a corner to butt my paper up against when I was stamping. So I added a piece of foam across the bottom. So there you can see it better. And that does give me an edge. And that foam has been in place since 2016. So it has been working out fine. It is also magnetic. It comes with these two magnets. And if you want to add magnets of your own, plus the sticky grid. So I believe that although the sticky grid is losing its stick quite a bit, but between all of those things, the paper generally holds in place. And I will show you later on how those images come out. So yeah, that's still available on Amazon, $31.30. And that was the next one I purchased to have that option for open sides. Next one I purchased is from Nellie's Choice. So this one was a larger one. I thought maybe I need a larger option. Nellie's Choice Stamping Buddy Pro. Right now, I believe I got it at Amazon back in 2016. Right now, I could only find it in Ecstasy Crafts. This one, not only is it larger, but it also has two open sides. So you can see the blue with the measurements are closed, and the rest is open. There's an acrylic door. There are grid marks. There is the same cushion that you put in place when you want to use clear stamps. It is magnetic. You can see the magnets here, and also I use the sticky grid with it. So this exterior is 9.5 by 8.5. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. And interior 8.25 by 7. Ecstasy Crafts, as I said, has it in January of 2025 for $37.95. So I will show you a nice little demo of that when the time comes as well. Finally, the last one I received was the Misti. So the Misti probably doesn't need much of an introduction. It is the most popular stamp positioning tool in the US by far, I believe. It does have the acrylic door. It does have the grid marks. It does have metal hinges to hold that hinge in place. It is magnetic, so there's a little magnet here. I have a piece of sticky, I believe it's, I don't know, called a sticky mat that I use to hold my cardstock in place. And underneath that is the little pad for that my Sweet Petunia gives you if you want to put in a grid. Now, I didn't put that in because I wanted to put in a grid. I put that in because it wasn't stamping well. I'm using the whole pad. It's not a whole bunch of paper, but it's a good stack. And I'm using that whole pad because when I had been placing my cardstock in the corner, it was not stamping well. Trust me, I'm not going to demo it for you. It didn't work. If I use the center, which you very well can do with the sticky mat, it came out fine, but the corner wasn't working, and that bothered me. So I did try a few different solutions, and this really worked like a charm. So that being said, kind of was disappointed that this very expensive tool needed to have a jerry rig fix in order to make it work in all corners, but I've seen many people don't have the difficulty I had, so I don't know if mine was a fluke thing. I hadn't tried the corner previously, and I had been stamping with it, and it came out fine. But that's what I found out. So this size Misti, this is the original Misti. It's got an 8x10 exterior. It's got a 6.5 by 8.25 interior. All sides are closed. It is magnetic. It does have the acrylic door with the grids, and it does have a metal hinge. So this is $69.99, far more than any of the other options. And that's why this was not something I purchased. And I did receive it as a very generous gift. So now I was able to review this and compare it to the others that I had and let you know if I think it is worth double or more of any of the other options. So since it's here, I will do the demo of it first, and I will take a piece of pre-cut cardstock, which I have prepared already. And this is Hammer Mill Smooth 100 pound. Just happens to be the cardstock I have the most of at the time. And it's perfectly, I find it perfectly fine for stamping any image. So I'm just going to press that down, put the stamp where I'd like it to go. And I think I'm just going to place it near the bottom here because I'll likely make some card panels with it. So if you've not used a stamping tool before, this is what you do. You place down your cardstock. You have it held down by whatever means, either a sticky grid or a magnet, whatever works for that particular tool. You close the door, which picks up your stamp. Press it down a bit to make sure it's holding. And when you open, you stamp up your stamp. So this stamp I chose on purpose because it was pretty detailed. And I wanted to see for reals how well the tool worked. And if it doesn't get every single part of the stamp, well, let's see if it stays in place well enough to stamp again, which is the whole purpose of this tool. So not only will we see how the stamping works, we will also try to take a look for each of these to let us know if it holds in place. So here I'm going to just use, in addition to my hands, a little tool to help me press down and take a look. That looks pretty good. I will ink up again because some of the solid spots are not exactly solid. So I'm going to ink up again everywhere just a little bit, but I'm going to put a bunch of extra ink on the part that I feel could be more solid. And let's see how that goes. So it was right here where the solid stamping was. Should be hitting the cardstock in the exact place, and hopefully there's no shadowing, and it did. It hit in the exact place and it stamped beautifully. So here you are. This is what you get with a stamp positioning tool and a Dollar Tree stamp. Keep that in mind, and we will move on. So I'm just going to make a note on the back, and I'm going to note the back because I plan hopefully on using these as card panels at some point. So this is the Misti. So I'm just going to mark that Misti. Okay, second test for the Misti is a little more of a solid stamp. So I'm going to put a new fresh piece of cardstock. Actually, I had a smaller one because we don't really need a full panel. In fact, I'm going to cut this one down even a little bit more because I'm going to do this several times on the different with the different tools. So this one is going to be the Misti. Also going to put this down, remove this. I'm going to have to clean that before I put it down on the next one, and take our solid stamp. So this one just says, friends are the best medicine. So this is for a nice get well card. Let's pick it up and make sure that's held down properly. Solid stamps was my first big problem in stamping before I had a tool. Couldn't make it happen. Now, sometimes it's the stamp, and I said these are inexpensive stamps that I am demoing with, but I did that by choice. You are never gonna, or rarely gonna, have any difficulty with that. Came out almost perfect already. I'm going to hit it one more time, but I rarely have any difficulty with any tool with a high quality red rubber name brand stamp. So I don't feel like that is necessarily a good test for a stamping tool. To me, if I can stamp more than once, make an inexpensive stamp work properly, and not have any shadowing if I had to stamp twice or even more, then that's a win. So now that is perfect. Let me show that to you. This is our Misti. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, Misti, you did well. Gonna put that aside and move on to our next stamp positioning tool. And next up on the hit parade is Nellie's Choice. Okay, Nellie, let's see what you got. Let me clean this stamp off. It doesn't look bad, but I'm just going to give it a little wipe and make sure that it doesn't stain the paper when I don't want it to. Yeah, there's a little ink left on there. Wipe that down. Hopefully that's good enough, but we're going to find out soon. Okay, here's a new piece of cardstock. Going to put it in the, oh, I like it the other way. I think, like the bottom corner. So I don't know if Nellie is left-handed or right-handed, because I feel like it's a different than the other demo I did, but be this as it may, this is the way I'm going. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put Nellie's Choice. So let me do that and I'll flip it over. Nellie's Choice. Because we're going to compare them at the end. Going to compare them. And if you're in the market for purchasing one of these tools, I'm hoping that this helps you. So, going to place that down. Going to pick up my stamp. Perfect. Take my ink. Ink it down. That seems to be pretty well inked. And let's see what we can get. Looks like I got some ink on the door, which is not unusual for me. I will wipe that down when I pick the door back up, but it should not have any impact on the image. It should not touch. Oh no, I moved it. Let's see, I hope the second stamp goes well. We're going to find out in short order. So I could use a little bit more ink on this one. So let's see if Nellie can be saved. Let's see. I think I moved it. I'm a little bit worried about Nellie, but we're going to find out soon enough. Okay. We'll see. It's hard for me to tell right now, but I am hoping that it all comes out well. Looks like it's the exact same spot and the stamping looks perfect. So I'm going to let you see Nellie's Choice. There's my image. Okay, so next up, I will see if I have another one of those little, and I'm going to put Nellie's Choice on the back here too. Okay, going to stick that down in the corner. Oh, a little bit off. There. So let me wipe that down. Something I forgot to do in between the last demo. So let's stop trying to make the same mistake twice. Okay, Nellie's Choice is done for the intricate. Now let's try the solid stamp. Put that down. Oh, I didn't clean that one off. So you can see there's a shadow there. And let's see if it comes down in the exact same spot. I certainly hope so. Okay. Here we go. I could have stamped it up a little bit more. I see I did not have a full inking. Looks pretty good. Just going to do it one more time. We'll see if we can get a perfect image, just like the Misti. Let's see. Okay. And it does look perfect to me. My eyes are not perfect, but I will pick it up and you can judge for yourself. And as I said, in the end, we'll do a quick side-by-side for each of these. Pretty good, right? Okay, so there we go for Nelly. Gonna take that off and replace these magnets. Sometimes I use magnets, sometimes I don't, but I feel like using the magnet tend to interfere with the door. So I try not to use it if I don't have to. If I feel that my sticky grid has enough stick, or my sticky pad has enough stick, I will let that go. And let's see, next up on the hit parade is the Stamping Pro. So again, I'm going to take off the magnets, not my first choice. And I think for this one, I am going to flip the other way. I don't know what's going on with me. For some reason, I keep flipping these guys. Okay, so this is going down on the sticky grid, and it is in the corner. Feeling like that sticky grid, is it sticking well? I hope so. I am not positive, but we're gonna add the magnet just in case. I feel as if this sticky grid might be a little bit worn and not the most reliable. So going to go ahead and add the magnets and hope for the best. So here we go. This one again has the hinges, and we picked up the image just fine, and it absolutely did not, the paper did not move, I don't believe, at all. So hopefully we will be just fine putting down this image. Oh, I forgot to mark it. I've got to mark that this one is a Stamping Pro. So I will do that before I move on, after the image is completely done. So that, let me put that down again. I don't even think I gave that enough time. And I think I'm going to try adding the ink without the magnets, because I think it, maybe not, because I don't know that this sticky grid is sticky enough. So let's try a second time. Sorry if I've been out of frame, everybody, but I have to look at my inking and the stamping, and I don't always necessarily look up at the screen, so I apologize if the whole thing has been out of frame, but I will show you the results close up for each one, and hopefully that will be enough information. So I'm rubbing it down with the fingers, then again with the pressure tool. Looks like I got ink all over the door again, and fingers one more time. Hopefully that'll do the trick. Looks pretty good. Gonna wipe this down, and I will, oh no, I see I missed, and the ink is still there. Yeah, let me see if this helps. I see a piece missing at the flower. And that is not usually, yeah, it was the magnet interfering. As soon as I took out the magnet, it pretty much worked out fine. So let me clean this off, and I will pick the image up. And most of my stamps, I don't know about you, are not this intricate and do not necessarily have this much solid also included in the stamp. So, and this is probably one of my least expensive stamps as well, Dollar Tree, as I stated. So there you go. There's a close-up look, and I believe it came out pretty well. So I'm just going to add the name to it, and that is the Stamping Pro. Next, we're going to do the solid image for the Stamping Pro, and I believe I'm going to have to cut down again a little bit of a smaller piece of cardstock. I don't want to use a whole piece for that little circle, and just cut one down in two, and we'll have the last this one and the next one all covered. So here goes the paper for the solid stamp, and I forgot to mark it again. Oh my goodness. Stamping Pro. We'll flip it and get this sample going. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to try it without magnets and see how that picks up, see if it comes up with it. And it did, yeah. So I am going to have to use the magnets. I just do not have enough sticky. We'll see. We'll see if it interferes. Well, that works pretty well. We'll try it. We'll try it with the magnets. And for this, I usually do use magnets, if I recall properly. Oh, look at the mess I made. Gonna have to wipe down that acrylic door. Oh, but that stamped beautifully. I don't even know if I'm gonna stamp again. Now, gonna leave that go. A one-trick pony. There we go. Look at that. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside with the other Stampin' Pro. Wipe this down. Wipe the door down a bit. Did make a little piglet mess. And move on to the last one. And that last one was my first love, all-time favorite. And that is the Stamp Perfect. Let's see if I can find him. I just dropped him under everything. Okay, here we go. So, Stamp Perfect. It's got a new piece of sticky grid. That's what I should have done for the other, but here we are. So let's mark it. Stamp Perfect. Flip it over. Push it down. Let's get our stamp. Bicycle from the Dollar Tree is first on the hit parade. Pick up the stamp. And let's ink it up. So this, as I said, was the very first stamp positioner I ever purchased. And I will say, it does feel definitely like the least sturdy because of the acrylic glued hinges. And the door is definitely thinner than most, if not all. But it's my impression that this thinner door, for me, makes it easier to get a better impression. I think the pressure is easier to go through. I will give it the chance to have two stampings if necessary, just like every other tool. But yeah, I got some ink on there. But I feel as if the thinner door sometimes can work to my advantage. And there it is, one stamping. I believe I missed a spot, and it's almost perfect right now. It really is. It's almost perfect right now. But I will give it another inking and let you see. I need some more ink in one of those little flowers. Okay. And that should probably do the trick. So let's put it down. Use the pressure tool as I did with all of them. Then use my fingers again. And here we go. Looks perfect to me. Gonna let you have a look-see. Hi, Jake. My puppy's here to inspect. Yes, I know you want to have me pet your hand. I will do that with one hand while I'm petting you for a second. Look at that. Came out perfect, didn't it? And I'm going to put that aside and move on to the next. Jakey, I'm going to have to ask you to give me a 1 more minute because this is the last one. Oh, okay, off. Thank you, honey. This one I also have to mark, and it's Stamp Perfect. Okay. So let's do the solid stamp for Stamp Perfect. Here it is. Press that down. Oops. Oh my goodness. I took this with me. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to wipe that down so it sticks. All right. Let's see if that did the trick. Oh, that's a little crooked though. So let me see about that. No, I'm gonna leave it there because it left a little impression. Okay. So I'm hoping that this is in the correct spot. Ink it down. Look at that. Ink everywhere. I got ink everywhere. Terrible. Okay. Oh, I didn't get enough ink on it at all. I can see empty spots right now. I think I wiped it off when I tried to wipe the door. And it's almost perfect anyway. Okay. So, a little bit more ink down. Close it up. Let the ink transfer and fill in those spaces. Let's see how we did. Looks good to me. I'm going to let you take a look-see. There it is. Solid stamping out of the Stamp Perfect. So I'll put those aside. Then we're going to do just a few minutes of roundup. I'll let you take a look at each of them side by side. Remind you of the cost. I will try to link as much information as I can in the description. Otherwise, you absolutely will not have any problem finding any of these tools by Googling it, and hopefully whatever is available at the time you're looking will pop up without much difficulty. Okay, so let us put them all out. Here is our Stamp Perfect. Let's see if I can find which one is our Stamping Pro. Stamping Pro is here and here. Next, I've got Nellie's Choice. And which one is Nellie? This one is Nellie's Choice. And last but not least is the Misti. And let's move these guys down. Here is the Misti. So let's take a look at them together. This is the Misti. This is the Stamp Perfect. Misti, Stamp Perfect. Same two, solid stamp. Misti, Stamp Perfect. They can almost fit on the same screen. Okay, let's do Misti, Stamping Pro. Misti, Stamping Pro. Same. Misti, Stamping Pro. Okay. And then Misti and Nellie's Choice. Misti, Nellie's Choice. And the same. Misti, Nellie's Choice. So I'm going to review with you again. Misti, oops, let's see, yeah. And this one, as it is here, $69.99. I did have to jerry rig that. Nellie's Choice. And that is the Stamping Buddy Pro, $37.95. Next up, Stamping Pro. There are the images, and that is available on Amazon, $31.30. And last but not least, Stamp Perfect. Whoops. Stamp Perfect. Goodness gracious, Stamp Perfect. And the Stamp Perfect is available. The only place I can find it right now is Shein and AliExpress, $16.75. The choice is yours, my friend. Who do you want to buy from? How much do you want to spend? Which image looks better to you? And which do you feel is the best way for you to use your money? I hope you found this helpful. I hope if you were deciding which tool you would like to use, that this one, that this comparison gave you a little peek at some of the things you have been looking for. I realize I did not go over the Altenew stamp wheel, which is wildly popular, just doesn't appeal to me. If you are someone who is interested in that, you know, of course, that's something you should consider. Please know that the original stamp wheel, which is 7.5 square, is $100, and the Altenew stamp wheel 2.0 is $127. And if you like to make wreaths, I bet it's the best, easiest, wonderful way to do that. I'm personally not a wreath maker, and I felt that my needs were covered, or more than covered, right here. So that being said, thanks for stopping by. I hope you found something useful. Please leave me a comment, and I'm glad you came here today. Have a great week, and until next time, bye-bye, YouTube.